Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to be a patient person. Now, if you have watched some of my other videos, you will know that I am not the most patient person, but it is something that I'm working on. I'm working really hard on it because Lord knows I could be very impatient, and that's not funny. It's not the best quality, but it's just the truth. Like, it's the truth. So, as I'm going through this journey and I'm trying to be a more patient person, I wrote some notes. So, if you see me looking down, that's why I have my laptop in front of me. But I am trying to capture what I'm doing to be a more patient person so that hopefully it could help other people along the way. Okay, number one, I wrote mindfulness and breathing. Now, I am not very good at breathing techniques. Like, I know I'm a therapist, but for some reason, it's so hard for me to get into deep breathing. But I put them together because deep breathing or breathing techniques do go hand in hand with mindfulness. And just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean that it won't work for you. So, what I mean by mindfulness is doing different techniques that help you stay grounded in the moment. Because when I'm impatient, it's usually because I'm thinking too far into the future. I want to get something done because I want X, Y, and Z to happen, and I need X to happen before Y and Z can happen. And I get myself in this whole like rut of needing to rush, and I can't be in the moment for some reason. So, mindfulness helps you stay in this moment. I have a five senses grounding technique video that you can watch. It's super simple, but that's an example of grounding techniques. Breathing techniques, there's many of them as well. You can look up breathing techniques on YouTube, or I think they have them on a lot of apps like the Calm apps. Number two is engaging in activities that keep your focus. What I mean by this is sometimes I do things just because I feel like I need to do them, but not because I actually want to do them. So if I don't actually want to do them, I have a hard time focusing and I become impatient because I just want to rush through the activity. So for example, let's say that I wanted to do breathing techniques because I heard it's a good idea for becoming more of a patient person. Well, if it doesn't connect with me and I'm just forcing myself to do breathing techniques, odds are I'm going to rush through that YouTube video or that Calm app and be like, all right, let's go, because it doesn't keep my attention. It doesn't feel connected to me. It doesn't feel like the thing that I need to be doing to help me feel better. So when you're picking activities or things that you're going to do throughout the day, make sure you pick things that actually keep your attention, make you feel like you could be a part of that moment and actually be patient, and you're not creating the habit of needing to rush through everything. Also, you can look at it like activities or distractions to do to keep you distracted from being impatient. So if you have this really big thing, and let's say you're waiting for a decision, like you're waiting for a job to call you back, and all you're doing is thinking about it, and you're like wanting to rush through time, and you're like, I need them to call me, I need them to call me. Maybe have activities set up that keep your focus so that when you're waiting, you don't continue to think about the thing that you're being impatient about or the thing you want to hear or get the answer to right now. You have other things that you could do in the meantime to keep you distracted. So it helps you get through that moment, but it doesn't create that impatient, aggravated, anxiety provoking feeling. The third thing is setting small goals for yourself, because sometimes when we set a huge goal, we can become impatient because we feel like it's not being achieved quick enough. But that it's not because you can't achieve it and that it's your fault you're not doing it quick enough. It's that the goal is too big and it takes a lot of time to create it. So, for example, I'm looking into starting my own private practice. And if I just put my goal as start a private practice, I'm going to become impatient because I'm going to feel like, oh, I really, really want this. But if I break it down into smaller goals and I say, okay, get your EIN number. That's step number one. Number two, get a banking account so that it's separate from your personal finances. And if I do it like that, it makes me feel like I'm not waiting forever for just this huge goal to happen. Number four is eliminating negative self-talk. It doesn't feel good to talk crap to myself about how I'm not fast enough or I'm not doing it right or I can't believe I have to do this over and all of these things. So when you notice yourself becoming negative towards yourself, try to be positive. And I know it's easier said than done, but it is important because you're not adding anything positive by being negative to yourself. So if you're already impatient, let's not amp it up by becoming negative as well. Number five is your support system. This is if you feel like you can't do it on your own, lean on somebody else. If I'm impatient, anxious, I'm rushing through things, I don't feel grounded, I feel like I'm just on the go, like nothing is going the way that I want, and I'm just trying to run. Sometimes you need a calm person to reflect back to you and be able to talk to you and say like, hey, you're actually doing really well, or maybe this or that, or just like kind of slow you down. So if you have those people in your life that tend to be more at peace, go with the flow, calm, they are patient, it's okay to tap into those energies or those people by being able to connect with them and say like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with and I need help. And hopefully they're able to give you back some encouragement and help you be more patient. When it comes to healing, like let's say you're trying really hard to heal from something and you feel like you're not doing it quick enough, because I've heard that a lot, like whether it's losing somebody in your family or a close friend, death, breakups, whatever the case may be, sometimes people feel like, I really just want to be over this healing process. And that is an example of leaning on your support system. Like it's okay that it takes time, and just allow people to be there for you through this time, because it's, like I said, it's normal to go through all of that, and we need people around us to help. Number 6 is visualizing your future and what you want for yourself. Now, sometimes if I feel like I'm not moving quick enough, or I'm not in that position that I need to be in yet, or I'm not, whatever the goal is, I try to just visualize that person and tap into that person. Yes, I am not fully her yet, but I am in the process, and I think about what it would feel like to be her. So if I'm trying to be a more patient person and I sit here and I think I am that patient person, and what does the patient version of Carissa look like once I am super patient and I'm able to not get overwhelmed all the time and anxious, and I'm not rushing through life and I'm grounded? What does that look like? And when I start to envision her, could start to feel more like her, because now I feel connected to her. She's real. I see it, I feel it, and I could tap in and say, well, she would probably calm down in this moment. She would be more patient in this moment. She would have more grace towards herself in this moment. So I like to visualize like, what would she do, even though I am her? And it helps me like see that thing happening and helps me tap into what I would need to do to make that happen. 7, I almost did 6. 7 is accepting things for what they are. Practicing acceptance is so important just across the board, not only if you're trying to be a more patient person, but just like in life, with anxiety, with depression, with life changes. Like accepting where you are is so important, because the truth is there are some things we just don't have control over, and if we try to control them, we're spinning our wheels and wasting time on things that we can't control. And sometimes all you have to do is be able to accept, this is what it is right now. And I think a patient person learns that not everything is going to happen the way you want. You might have goal 1, 2, and 3. You might plan out it's going to take you 3 months, and you're going to find there's going to be roadblocks or things along the way, things that you couldn't see back then that you only see now because it's happening. There's going to be things that you just don't have control over, and going into it with a mindset of it's okay to accept that those 3 goals didn't get accomplished in 3 months. It's okay to accept that I forgot this other step that then put me on a detour. It's okay that something didn't work out the way that I thought it was supposed to, because life happened, right? I didn't know that this thing was going to pop up and change. And the more we can accept things for ourselves, the more we can better handle being patient, but just better handle life, and coming to a place of like, okay, yeah, this happened. I need to take a detour. I got a little off track or whatever. It takes away the pressure of being perfect, finishing everything on time, always having the perfect plans. Like, it's okay to allow things to happen the way that they need to happen. And that's so major when it comes to being patient. And I think that's something that I really struggle with. And I know a lot of people struggle with, because we just want life to be good. We want it to work out the way we want it to work out. We want to not struggle, not hurt. We want to have all these good things and live in abundance. And that's all great. But sometimes that's not realistic. And if you go into it knowing that not everything is going to be perfect, you're not disappointed when it's not perfect. You're not setting up unrealistic goals for yourself. So I want to leave you with that, because I think that's the most powerful one, is that acceptance, and learning to have acceptance and letting go of some of your control. All right. If you have any other questions, you can, or if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. If you have other tips, please leave them as well, because people read through comments. Like sometimes when I'm watching a YouTube video, I purposely go to the comments to see like what people are saying and how they're reacting and what their experiences are like. So if you have other things that you would like to put or give people advice about, I would really appreciate that. I want this to be a community where we share with each other. So please do that. Enjoy the rest of your day. or your night, depending on what time you're watching this. I appreciate your support, and I really hope that this channel grows and just becomes such a great community for everybody, because we're all working on stuff, whether you're a client, a therapist, or whatever, you're a human. So I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you in my next video.